Hello! In this video we're going to be viewing all the customization options for the Vulcar Warner HKR. As you can see here, it does not look its best at the current moment, so along the way as we view all the options we're going to be trying to make this look beautiful as well. Let's get right into it. So this is a sedan class car, so I think I want to try to make something that fits with that sort of build. And also I already have everything upgraded to the max that is non-cosmetic, so we won't be viewing things like armor or brakes. So we're going to start with bumpers here, and we got front bumpers to start. So we got the stock one equipped right now. Honestly, doesn't even look that terrible. Let's go into the bumper delete next, which again actually doesn't look that bad. I mean, especially with colors there, it could look pretty good as well. Now let's view the primary. Primary looks, all these are looking good in my opinion so far. So let's go on to secondary. That would just change if you had a different secondary color. We got the carbon one, which works with a lot of colors as well. Like, these are all looking nice in my opinion. You got the alternate bumper, which again looks nice. Okay, wow, I just might like all the front bumpers here. We got the retro one. Again, looks pretty nice in my opinion. Retro bumper with lights. Okay, I think this is going to be the first one I don't really like. There's just too many lights. Dang. We got the exposed intercooler. Okay, I also don't like this one. It's a little bit too much for me. We got the exposed intercooler alt, which actually kind of doesn't look that bad. It goes pretty well, especially I like that it's centered there. That doesn't look too bad. And then lastly, we got the large exposed intercooler, which is just a little bit too much for me. So I think we're going to go with, I don't know actually. Maybe just a secondary or the alternate bumper. I think I want to go alternate just because I know that changing up the colors later on won't affect it. That one looks good regardless, so we're going to start with that. And now let's go into rear bumpers. Oh wow, you get way less options here for rear bumper. So we got the stock one here, which we have equipped already. Not too bad, but doesn't really make you say like, wow, nice bumper. Then we got the Subway Surikawa, if I'm saying that right. I probably am not. And then we got the heart, whatever that is. And is this even, can you classify this as a bumper? I mean, it's under the bumper, the rear bumper category, but can you even? I mean, I guess it's attachments on it, but it's not really changing much. But I don't know. I don't think any of these necessarily look that good. So we're gonna keep it stock. And our next category here will be engine. So we're gonna start with the engine block. We got the stock engine block. Are we not gonna be able to get a good camera angle on this? I guess not. That's a bit rough. They probably should have thought about that before doing this. So unfortunately, that's all we can see there. We got the primary color valve covers, which actually changes up quite a bit. It also makes them a bit smaller. It doesn't even mention that. And then secondary, if you had like a really nice secondary, I mean, we got a little bit of a darker one. Polished valve covers, which, ooh, boy, that's something, all right. And then carbon valve covers. So it's really just either stock or you get valve covers just in like a color of your choice. It doesn't really change too much in terms of texture of them. So I think we're going to go with polished just because we want like people really looking at the engine if we're going to pop the hood. Especially at like with how the hood gets popped. It's just floating. I just realized there's literally nothing holding it. It's just floating. Oh gosh, I shouldn't have looked at that. Now I can't unsee it. Okay, let's look at cam cover next. We got the stock cam cover currently. You can also get the primary color cam belt cover, which changes up quite a bit, even though it really shouldn't. It's kind of weird how much that changes. I think it's just because of like the metallic red. I'm pretty sure that I have equipped currently, and then you can also get that in your secondary, and then you can get this polished or in carbon as well. I'm kind of disappointed in these engine options so far. Not very many to choose from, just different colors. I think we're gonna go carbon on this one because that looks pretty good. We don't want it to be matching. Like, that's just a bit too much if we were to go with the polished one there as well. So next we got the strut brace. We got the basic one equipped right now, and basic doesn't even look that bad, to be honest. We got the polished strut brace, which just takes our basic one and makes it shinier. We got carbon for that as well if you wanted a little bit of a darker build. You can get the medium polished strut brace. It makes it quite significantly larger than the original, but also, you know, polished. And you can get that in titanium as well, which changes up, you know, the whole texture and feel of it, you could say. We got the titanium strut brace here. So this is now the smaller version of the one we just saw. Doesn't look that bad. Triangulated strut brace. Uh, I don't know if I'm really feeling the triangulated on any of these new cars, but you know, some people like them. The wide titanium strut brace, which from this angle kind of looks terrible, but if we were able to get an angle at the front, it wouldn't look too bad, I don't think. Like from here, eh, I don't know. That one's not really my cup of tea. Large polished strut brace. Okay, now we're just getting like massive territory here. That thing is huge. Jeez, and they only have that in polished, I guess, because then it moves on to sticker bomb. Well, I guess no. This one's large as well. It just doesn't mention that it's large, but that's sticker bomb. If you're doing like a sticker bomb build, that could look nice. And we got the polished twin bar strut brace. This one is like almost the same size, I think, as these. Yeah, it is. Just with like a split down the center, which definitely helps it look a little bit better, give it some more depth. And we got the extreme billet strut brace or billet. I don't know, but that one, I mean, it definitely gives it way more texture for sure. I kind of like it. I don't know. That was not too bad. And then lightened racing strut brace, which I don't know. This one's a little bit too thick still, even with it, you know, being lightened, like they got the holes in it. I don't know which one though we're gonna put on this thing. We're gonna get the carbon one, the carbon strut brace, because yeah, that definitely looks better than the basic. And we already maxed our engine tunes, so last here for engine, we got intercoolers. So we can have the stock intercooler. We can have the custom intercooler, which really just exposes it completely, and it's also changes, or no, yeah, it does. It changes the color as well, so makes it a little bit more clear. You can see it better. Intercooler with water sprayer. Just adds a little bit more detail there, a little bit more depth. No one's really going to notice that unless they're paying close attention. We got the small logo intercooler. I actually like that it brings out the logo there. And then we got the large logo intercooler. I mean, I don't know about that one. I don't know how I feel about that. It was just a little bit too large of a logo. And then we got the intercooler with twin fans, which could look nice actually, depending on the rest of your car, like what choices you go with. Could work with certain builds. But I think we're gonna go with the small logo one because I do like that. It looks very nice. We're gonna grab that, and that'll be all for engine. Next, we're gonna go on to exhaust. So start here with the stock exhaust, and thank you so much to Rocket for telling me this, but if you hold the gas here, you can actually see what it looks like in better detail. So thank you, Rocket, for that. Next, we got the big bore exhaust, and that one is exactly as it says. It is big, and yeah, a little bit big. I mean, let's see how it looks like this. I mean, nah, it's still big, all right. We got the angled blast pipes. These things are just way out there in my opinion. Like, I'm sure they might look good with certain builds. Like, maybe if we were to keep the car exactly as is right now, just change up the color and stuff, it wouldn't look that bad. But not really how I like it. Let's look at the small bore exhaust next. This is basically the same as the big bore, but I guess smaller? Yeah, it's barely even smaller when I compare the two. So basically the same thing, slightly smaller if you just wanted it to be a little bit smaller, if the other one was too big for you. We got the double pipes, which looks really nice actually. I like that. The double pipes, looking good. Double exhaust. Oh, okay. Now we're talking. They even got like those polished tips there on it, and I think I'm really liking that one. We got the titanium tipped exhaust, which is the same as before, but a little bit different with the tips there being titanium. And it actually makes them a bit thicker as well. And then we got the titanium tipped exhaust alt, which kind of looks more like the double exhaust than the just basic titanium ones. And then lastly here, we got the side mounted exhaust, which is another one that, depending on your build, could look very nice. But I don't think that's what we're going to be going for. So I think we're just gonna go with double exhaust. Let's see how it looks when I actually, have exhaust. Yeah, I think those look nice. I like it. We're gonna go with those. Now moving on to fenders. We only have a couple options here. We got the stock fenders, which are currently equipped. We have the primary arches, and those honestly, I don't know. They don't look too bad. And then we got the carbon arches. And honestly, I think just to give some more color profile to our build, I'm not sure what we're going to go with a lighter dark theme at the end, but I think I want to go with those, the carbon ones. So we're going to equip those. Not much to choose for in fenders, but it's all right. We got grill next. So at the moment, we have the stock grill equipped. We can get this in a primary painted grill, which I don't know. Primary or secondary here could look okay depending on your colors that you're going for, but stock does a pretty good job at giving it some profile. Unless you have a really good livery, I'd probably not want to change that to something painted, but you could also go with carbon, and that could look good in certain builds as well. I don't think we're going to do any of these. We're going to keep it stock just because I like the metallic look to that, but the painteds could work depending on your build, and so could the carbon. We got headlight covers next here, and at the moment we've had the stock headlight covers equipped. We got a choice of just light covers, and oh my, yeah, I don't know if that's for me. This is definitely not for me. And we got taped up lights. The taped up, I don't know, if you're going for more like a street look, that could actually look pretty nice. I don't think that's the look we're going to be going for though, so probably won't go with those. These are just a little bit ridiculous. I wish they had more options here because I don't even think the stock are that good. They're just, in my opinion, better than these two. So we're going to leave that stock. All right, next we're on to hood here, starting with hood catches. We have none equipped at the moment, and if we want to, we could put the primary hood catches on, and this goes by the color of your primary, and then the same goes for the secondary here. So depending on your colors, that could look nice. We got hood pins, which in my opinion look a little bit better than just the basic hood catches. And then we got angled hood pins, which I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling about that one, like with their placement. So I think what we're going to do is going to get just the hood pins. On a lot of cars, I actually prefer the angled, but just the location of them on the Warner here, I think doesn't look as good angled, so yeah, onto hood itself now. At the moment, we have the stock hood. You can get the see-through hood, which I think goes based off your primary color. But, I mean, it's definitely transparent, but it's kind of a weird transparent. It almost looks like Jell-O. I don't know if I'm really liking that. We got the carbon hood, which is something else for sure. That might just be a little bit too much on this car for carbon. We got the pointed hood. I almost said painted. That actually is really nice. Wow. I can't believe they have an option that comes out like that. I mean, it kind of destroys our visibility there of the grill, but not bad. I kind of like that they give that option. We got the stripped down hood, which I'm trying to figure out. But oh, okay. Oh no, that's the other one. What? What did that change? Okay, so I finally found the difference here. I'm a little embarrassed it took me as long as it did, but we have kind of like one bump in the center on the strip down here, and if we go back to stock, you can see there's like two extra bumps on the sides, on the outer parts of that middle bump. So that's the big difference there. Very hard to like notice, so don't know if that's worth paying $9K for. On to the small vented hood next, which actually kind of works well with this car, with this vehicle, very well. The Warner definitely should have a hood like this, in my opinion. We got the large vented hood. This one also goes pretty well with the Warner. But I don't know if that's what I'm going for with this build, but it does look nice. And then we got the tuner hood, which might actually be my favorite one. I don't know. Okay. I really do like this one. This one definitely adds a lot more depth to the hood and that area. I'm in between the small vented and the tuner right now, and I think we're gonna do the tuner. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna do the tuner, guys. We're doing it. I like it. Next here, I'm just gonna let you guys listen to the stock horn because all the other horns, the options are the same for like every vehicle. So the only thing that really matters when it comes to vehicles is their stock. So let's give that a listen. Not bad. A little bit like annoying, you know, if you hear that in traffic, you're like, okay, fine, I'm getting out of the way. But next we're on to interior here. We're probably going to be here for a bit. They got a lot of options, starting here with dash. So we got the stock dash at the current moment. Nothing really much going on with it. We can get the race interior, which strips it down a little bit, but not like a crazy amount. We got the race interior with the stripped dash, and in my opinion, that just looks worse than the race interior, because it's like removing one of the main parts that gives like the passenger side any sort of depth. So I don't like that one. But the race interior itself doesn't look bad. It's just the stripped dash. And then we got the stripped interior, like fully here, which, wow, this really changes up everything about the interior. That is a massive change. And then we got the stripped interior with flock dash, which just big time changes the dash. And then we got the stripped interior with carbon dash, which probably looks the cleanest. So we're going to go with the carbon dash strip interior, because that looks pretty nice. What does it mean, sorry, this is items unavailable? What was that? Okay. Oh, good. It let me equip it. That was weird for a second there. We got dials next. We have the stock ones at the moment. We can get the single tacho, if I'm saying that right. We got the dash cages next, which are put all the way over there. What is this angle it's giving me right now? You can still kind of see them, though. They're over there on the right. We got the pod, tacho, and dash gauges. Looks pretty nice, honestly. Not that bad. And then we got the pod mounted tacho. So, I don't know. I think with this thing here, I don't really want too much up in my way. Usually I would go for something like this, a little bit more up, but this is a bigger vehicle, and I think I just want the dash gauges, because I definitely want more gauges, especially if I'm going to be driving with someone. I want them to have something to look at in first person, you know. But so it's better than just stock, but it's not getting in the way. So we're going to do the just basic dash gauges. And next we got the doors. We got stock here to start. Nothing really too crazy. We got the old school window crank to open. That's kind of nice. I like that. We got the weave door panels next, and you can get these also with a handle. And I think the handle actually does make it look better. So if you're going to go with these, probably get the with handle variant. Next we got the lightweight weave panels, which just takes off a massive chunk of them. I don't know if I'm liking that too much. And then next we got the ballistic fiber door panels. So now we're changing up the texture of it a little bit. And next we got the ballistic fiber door panels with handle, which I think it might be just the same for all of these where the handle placement is and stuff, but I like the handle for sure. Then we got the lightweight ballistic fibers, which I don't know if I like that very much. I just don't like the lightweight. And next we got the carbon door panels, and we also got that with the handle. Once again, just looks better with the handle. And then you can also get the lightweight carbon panels. So I think we're gonna keep it stock on this one. I don't know why, but they always just do the same thing with these doors in the tuner DLC so far, at least what I've seen. Where, like, yeah, they're different, but it's more changing up just the texture and then the lightweight, but it doesn't really make it a whole new door, whereas the stock just, it gives that really like nice feel to it, especially when, you know, you're opening your door or leaving the car. And sometimes even in this game, you know, your door gets stuck open, and if you're stuck seeing this, it's kind of like nothing's really going on, even with the handle. But the handle definitely does improve it, so we're gonna keep these stock. Next we got seats. So right now at the moment we got the stock seats equipped. You can get sports seats, makes it look a little bit better up in here. We can get the painted sports seats, which follows your car's color. We can get these in carbon as well. And I don't know if it's going to matter that much in this car, because you won't be able to see too much from the back, even when driving in like third person. So I don't know if the carbon is going to make that big of a difference. Same with the ballistic fiber, and yeah, and you know, even the painted. So just having any type of sports seats, they're going to look for the most part the same. Like you can kind of see the change back there. Just barely. I might zoom in for you guys so you can see the difference. But yeah. Next we got the painted tuner seats. Pretty big change here. You can get these in carbon as well. as ballistic fiber. I kind of like the ballistic fiber, so not that bad, not that bad at all. Those are the tuner seats, and then we got the painted bucket seats next. And you guys know me, I like my bucket seats, so probably gonna end up going with one of these unless they got a better option. You can get this in carbon as well as ballistic fiber too, and it also changes up the colors of the straps, so that's nice. And then next we got the painted track seats. So it doesn't look like you can get these non-painted. Kind of unfortunate, but these actually don't look that bad either, the track seats. You can get these in carbon. I think the carbon actually looks really nice on these. You can kind of see more of it as well with the track seats. So that's good. And you can get this in ballistic fiber as well. I don't think the ballistic fiber, though, goes that well with this vehicle. And then lastly, we got the carbon race seats, which look very out of place in this car. So I think we're going to go with maybe the carbon bucket seats. I think those won't look too bad. Yeah, let's do it. Carbon bucket seats. Why not? So there was the seats. Now we're on to steering wheels. We got 17 options to choose from. Wow. So we're starting off here with the stock wheel. Not much to see. Pretty basic. But, you know, at least there's holes so you can see your gauges a little bit better. We got the Apex Basic, which doesn't look that bad either, honestly, but it does start to cover things a little bit. Get the Apex Clubman, a little bit more advanced version of it, and then the Apex Professional, which just adds even more, but also adds more to block the gauges. This is going to be kind of a problem in this vehicle. I can already see. We got the Formula Basic. Okay, this might be one of the best steering wheels for this car. No joke. Just so you can actually see stuff. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. You can even get it cut out, but it also adds like carbon fiber to it, and they don't even mention that. But it kind of goes well with our dash that we have, so I don't know if we want it to blend in that well. But then we got the Formula Clubman and the Formula Professional. I also choose from. The Clubman doesn't look that bad, but Professional, nah, not for this vehicle. They really got to look at how this like actually appears before giving it as an option. Like, that's just terrible. Sprint Basic. This doesn't look that bad either, actually. What's the difference? Like, what's the big difference here between Formula Basic and Sprint? Yeah. I don't know. Formula looks a little bit better than Sprint, I think. But there isn't too big of a difference there. Let's look at the Sprint Clubman. This actually doesn't look that bad. It doesn't affect too much. So you can get the Sprint Basic or Sprint Clubman pretty safely. And then we got the Sprint Mark II, which actually looks way cleaner in my opinion. It's a little bit tryhard though. I'm not gonna lie, a little bit tryhard. We got the Sprint Lightweight. Doesn't look that bad either. You know, adds a little bit more. You'll be able to see a little bit better at certain angles with that as well. You can get the Sprint Featherweight, which turns it into a little bit more carbon fiber as well. You know, maybe blend in a little bit more with your build if that's what you're going for. We got the Sprint Professional, which just covers everything yet again. So not something I would really go for. We got the Rally Basic, which I normally would say Rally is one of my favorite steering wheels because it is, but and this car just covers so much that I cannot recommend that. And we got the Rally Clubman, which covers even more, like yikes. And then the Rally Professional, which again just covers so much. So I'm between the Sprint Basic at the moment and the Formula Basic. I think we're going to go with the Sprint Basic for this build. Because why not? Let's do it. Oh yeah. Now onto roll cage. So at the moment, we don't have a roll cage. Which, I mean, there isn't too much space for one in here. So I'm curious to see how this goes. We can get the street half cage, which definitely just moved the car. I don't know if that's going to affect hitboxes or anything. But where does that even put it? Oh, back here. Okay. So some reinforced braces there, kind of. We got the street full cage, which, dang, okay, that looks way better, actually. I like that. That's not too bad. You can get the padded street full cage. The padded, though, might be a little bit much. I'm not going to lie, in this tiny of an area. We can get the full roll cage, which adds... what does that add, actually? It's changing something. Maybe down there? I'm not noticing. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. So it's changing the bottom. The full roll cage adds that little bit to the bottom, and maybe other parts that we just can't see right now. And you can also get that padded. I think the full ones might be too much for this, or at least with padded. I'm gonna go with just the street half cage because then we can at least have something, but it's not like too much in here. Plus, it's only $1,000, so why not include it instead of having none at all? And that is it for interior. Next, we are on to the lights, starting with headlights. So at the moment, we have the stock lights on, and it actually looks like some of our lights do not work on this vehicle. I think for these, we're actually going to keep it stock because I want to have a little bit of a different sort of vibe to this vehicle than most of mine, because I normally do use xenon. They are brighter and just look better on a lot of builds, but I don't think on this build. So we're going to keep those stock, and then you got your basic neon kits, which if you've ever customized the car, you know all about. We're going to get that front, back, and sides, but you can also just have front, just have back, just have sides, get front and back, front and sides, and back and sides as well. But in my opinion, if you're going to get it, why not go all out? And we'll change the color when we change the color of the other things, make it match later. Next, we got the liveries. So first, we have none here. So none, very basic, very plain. A little bit too plain, actually. I think this might be a vehicle that may need a livery to really bring out the best in it. You can get the racing stripes, which do not look that bad. You can also get the racing stripes alt, which is what we've had equipped the whole time here while we were doing this. So I think that all that does is change the color. It doesn't do anything else. It's a little bit off to the side, but overall it doesn't look terrible. We got the shopping list, as well as the shopping list alt, which just changes the color of the text. Not something I would really go for, but could be nice certain builds. Next we got the Sakura tree petals, which depending what you're going for here, if you're going for like a pink build, I think these might look perfect with it. Or even like a white build, maybe. I don't know how white would look though with the tree petals towards the back of the livery. Might blend in too much, but not that bad. We got the arrow stripes, so definitely a little bit more of a try-hard livery here, but yeah, it might just be too much in my opinion, but it doesn't look like terrible. Next we got auto exotic waves. So this changes up everything about your car. If you're choosing a livery like this, you're basically making your build around the livery. You got to find colors and parts that work with the livery, but if you can, I'm sure it has a lot of potential there to look really nice. The same goes for the HKR Racer here, which is a very try-hard livery. Probably as try-hard as these liveries get. I mean, I guess we'll see, but we also got this in an alternate form here, which just changes up the colors, I do believe. So that's pretty cool that they have that option there. We got the classic Warner, which is another try-hard racing livery, but kind of looks not that bad either. Less try-hard than a lot of them, for sure. Doesn't look that bad. We got the classic Vulcar, which also is very racing heavy and a little bit try-hard, but probably one of the cleanest ones that I've seen. So this might be my favorite if you're going for a very try-hard build. I think this might be my favorite. But this has to be unlocked with reputation, so that's a bit unfortunate, and all these next ones do. We got the alternate version of it, which just makes it way too blue in my opinion. But if you're going for a blue build, that could be it right there. We got the Redwood Racing. It looks like they have a lot of racing liveries for this thing. So yeah, that one doesn't look too bad. Not completely terrible, but a little bit more plain on the color side. You'd have to really have some nice parts of your car here that stand out, especially the mirrors. You need the right mirrors for this. We got the Vulcar Turbo, which, oh my gosh, if I had this unlocked, there's a chance I would go for it because I do really like this livery. This really brings out a lot in this car. Color-wise especially, I do like it. So if you have this unlocked by any chance, it might be worth grabbing, but you would have to choose a color profile that goes well with it. And we also have it in alternate form, so there's a whole nother color profile you could go for. But yeah, it's a very nice livery, and that was actually the last one, so now it's time for us to choose. I think we're gonna honestly just keep what we've had on the whole time, the Racing Stripes alt, because it looks pretty clean. Next, we have the mirrors here. Starting off, we got the stock mirrors. Not that bad, but also a little bit plain. Depending on how you went with your hood, could be too plain. And next we got the missile mirrors, which is what we've had equipped this whole time. Gives it a little bit more polish, a little bit more shine, but at the same time is a little bit standout-ish. People might have their attention drawn to your mirrors from the start. You can get these in secondary as well. And plastic. Plastic actually kind of looks better than just basic. Makes them blend in with your build a little bit better, unless you had like a white build or something. You can get the flat front mirrors. These ones are a little bit more discreet than the missile, but not by a crazy amount. You can get these in an alt version, which is kind of like polished, and it looks like you can also get these in plastic. So I don't know though. I don't know if I'm feeling those that much. And you can also get them in secondary. The order that they list these different options in is just crazy. Then you can get the retro mirrors, which are exactly as described. They're very retro. Depending on the build you go for, these might be the right mirrors for you. I don't think with the build I have in mind, it's necessarily going to work completely, but I can definitely see a lot of people choosing these. You can also get them in an alternate version here. Looks like that. Not bad. And plastic, apparently, too. And secondary. Okay. They list them in such a weird order. I think we're going to go plastic, honestly. Just because it kind of blends in. And we don't want, like, all the attention on the mirrors. So we're going to go with that. On to the next category, which will be roof scoops. So we got none here. A very basic, very plain. But with this type of car, that actually looks pretty normal. And I think having a roof scoop on a car like the Warner here might look a little weird just to start with, unless you're going for a try-hard sort of build. So let's see. Yeah, that's it with a race roof scoop. And yeah, I just don't know how I feel about roof scoops in general on this vehicle. But the racing one, if you were to go with one, pretty low profile. Looks kind of nice. Custom one is even more low profile, so that one's actually way better than the first one. And then the tuner scoop, which is just out there. That's just crazy in my opinion. So we're definitely going to not choose that one. But that was the one we had equipped the whole time. I think we're going to grab it just so we have a little bit more texture up there. Because none is a little bit flat. But at the same time, I don't know if this is really a car that you want to have a roof scoop. So let me know your guys' thoughts on that. But on to the next category, which will be splitters. We have a little bit of options here to choose from. So we got the stock at the moment. Not that bad. We can get the small splitter, which kind of works well with our bumper that we have selected. So might end up going with that. You can get that medium, which it starts to get a little bit crazy. You can also get that in carbon, which brings it back a little bit. Oh, I don't know. I'm a little bit mixed on that. And then you can go large, which just looks ridiculous in my opinion. I'm not sure what type of like car build you'd have to be going for this to look good. I'm sure there's something out there, but oh my, that's just a bit much. Then you can get that in carbon as well. And then lastly, you can get the bodywork extension. Huh. So I was going to go with small splitter, but that doesn't look too bad. I don't know. Huh. I think we're going to still go with small, but this could work with a lot of different builds, especially if you're going for older, more classic style. I think that would look really nice. So we're going to go with small, but definitely could have been an option here. I think the only one that doesn't look that great is the large one in both its normal form and carbon. But there were splitters, and next we're on to spoiler. So this is another like up for debate one where like should this vehicle even have a spoiler? But I guess if you got a big enough spoiler, it would sort of make sense. But this is what it looks like with none. Not much to see there. We can get the small boot lip spoiler, which might be too small to the point where it's like, why even? You can also get that medium, which makes it a little bit bigger, a little bit better. It also adds the like braces for it on the back there. You can also get that large, which might be at this point too big now for the type of spoiler it is, but it definitely does stand out a bit better than the others. You can get the carbon spoiler, which is so weirdly placed that I don't know if I like that, especially if you're driving in third person. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one. Do not know how I feel about that. We got the tuner spoiler, which extends out a little bit better than the carbon one there. Not as bad, but maybe that's all the spoilers on here. They're just placed a little bit off, in my opinion. Yeah, that's how it's gonna be. Okay, we got the race spoiler, which actually brings it a little bit down from the tuner. Kind of surprising, but it's starting to get to the point where like I think it might look nice with certain builds, especially tryhard builds like racing ones. You can get the carbon spoiler alternate version, which completely just clips through whatever we have on the back there. So that is terrible that it even does that. So probably don't mix those two together. And then you can get the street spoiler as well. And I don't know. I kind of like the street one here. I think we're gonna go with it actually, because I would do none, but at the same time we want a little bit more on the vehicle. That's also why I went with the roof scoop. So we're gonna go ahead and grab the street one. It's the most expensive, in my opinion, looks the best out of them. Now we're on to Sunstrips. So at the moment we have none. You can get a primary one, which actually extends this livery as well. I'm sure it extends other liveries as well. So that's kind of nice. We got the plastic one. You can get the white Vulcar one, as well as that in black, depending on what colors you're gonna go with. You can get the white Mine Mott Sunstrip. Oh, I'm saying that right. You can get that also in black, so another like color preference thing. You can get the white Power Metal Sunstrip, which will probably work with a lot more builds than the other couple Sunstrips. You can also get that in black, depending on your colors. And those are all the options. So I think at the end of the day, it really comes down to what colors you're using. But I think just to give our car a little bit more on the livery side of things, I'm going to go with the primary. Then we're going to choose a solid primary to work well with that. I think that'll look nice. Next, we are into suspension, which some people may not consider a customization option, but it actually does change the appearance of the car, so I cover it anyway just to be thorough. So we got stock at the moment, that's what we've had. You can get it lowered, street, sport, and competition. On this car, I think competition might go a little bit too far, so we're going to grab sport. Not that bad. I think competition might be a little bit too low though, but the rest not that bad. And next we are on to the trunk. So let's start here with stock. You can see now our spoiler looks a little bit better, and I'm guessing a lot of people will probably have this stock. But you can also get the outer cage, which adds quite a bit more to your build here. Looks a little bit more reinforced. Might cut off a little bit of visibility from certain angles, so keep that in mind. You got the braced outer cage as well, which is a lot. I was going to say a little bit different, but then I look at it more, and it's actually a lot different. And I don't know what builds that would really work well with. I think you wouldn't want a spoiler if you wanted that to look nice on your build. I think the mixture of the outer cage braced here and the spoiler just don't go well together. You got the small stature cage, which I actually think looks pretty nice with what we have going right now. So might be something we consider later on. Looks pretty nice. You can get the rally setup, which is very similar to the outer cage brace, but it has a little bit down there. You can get the heavy duty cage, which is where it goes a little bit crazy, and I don't even mean that in like the tryhard sense. I think it just gets crazy. And then lastly, you can also get the full setup, which is what we had equipped the whole time, but I think we're gonna maybe go with either the small stature cage or just the outer cage. Well, I think we're going to actually go with this small stature cage though, just because it keeps our build looking a little bit clean, a little bit fresh. Okay, next up we have wheels. So I did some looking and I finally decided on the Law Speed baller wheels here to start. And next we're going to go into, we'll do wheel color last. We're going to go into tires. So for tire design, we have stock and custom, and we're going to grab custom just because it does change them up enough to be worth getting, in my opinion. Makes it look a little bit more fresh, a little bit more clean. Now as for tire enhancements, here we can just grab bulletproof, which I'm actually going to do. I forgot to do earlier. But if you take it to the LS car meet, you can also get low grip tires, which just make it easier to drift around and stuff. So it's pretty nice that they include that on this vehicle. And then tire smoke, another thing we'll be changing up towards the end when we get to the color. And speaking of the end, we actually have the last category here, which is windows. So you can get these in light smoke, dark smoke, and limo. And if you guys have been watching my other customization videos, you know I go with limo because it makes it more difficult for other players to see your character and actually hit you. So we're going to go with limo. Now we are going to go and change the color of everything. Okay, so I took some time, looked around at all the different color options, and for the primary here, I have decided to go with straw brown and metallic. I think it's going to look really nice for the build that I'm going for. Obviously, if you're going for a more try-hard or a racing build, you wouldn't want any sort of brown. But for what I'm going for here, I really think this really looks nice. So next, let's go to the secondary. For the secondary, I decided to do a bleached brown because it looks very similar to our current straw brown that we have equipped. And I think it really looks nice, especially in the front, and it kind of matches our livery. So I think that'll look pretty nice. Next, we're going to be looking at trim color. For trim color, I decided to go with a dark steel here because I think it looks really nice. Also, it doesn't change up too much when we have the carbon up in the front. So it was mostly about the seats, but I think it looks pretty nice with the rest of the interior here. For accent color, I decided to go with gold because I think that looks really nice with everything else we got going on, especially on the gauges. You can see here, it does make it a little bit difficult to see, but not as bad as some of the other ones, but it also works really well with the rest of the stuff we got going on. And then lastly, we have crew emblem here. If you guys are interested in where it gets placed, there it is right there. You can also get it applied for free if you take it to your auto shop. But I'm not going to grab my crew emblem on this, so that's going to be it for the resprays. Now we got to go back and visit categories that have colors that we didn't change earlier. So for the neon color for the underglow, I've decided just to keep it white. It matches with our livery and does pretty well with the rest of the car. And yeah, none of the rest really worked with it, and I'm kind of disappointed with that. I thought they would have had an option that worked really well with it, but we're gonna go with white. For wheel color, I decided to go with bronze here because I think it stands out enough that you're like, wow, okay, those wheels are bronze, but not so much that it's like obnoxious. So I think that looks pretty good with our build here. And then for tire smoke, we're going to grab the brown tire smoke because, you know, obviously we got this brown build. We want to be burning out some brown when we do it. And with that, we are done with the colors and everything. So we're going to go ahead, exit the auto shop, and take a look at this thing. Before we go take it out on a test drive, I just wanted to show it off from the outside view here. And I think this looks great. I know the color change probably surprised a lot of you at the end. I was kind of wanting to do a low profile sort of color design here from the start, but I didn't want to make it classic look, which is what I'm trying to avoid with it. I just wanted to be more low profile. If we were going with classic, I would have avoided the roof scoop, would have gone with the classic mirrors, and definitely skipped out on the spoiler. But in my opinion, it does exactly what I wanted it to. It looks very low profile. Let's go take it out for a spin. And it's raining, so might give us some trouble driving here. But yeah, this thing actually looks pretty good, even though it's raining. Maybe, you know, it comes out in the rain, you know? It does pretty well, though. I'll have an overview video on this sometime in the near future. So I was about to go and tell you guys how I'm disappointed in the lights and stuff like that not working, but once I got outside, they actually both do work, so that is nice. It's a very good thing to see. I don't know why they weren't both working in my auto shop, but that's good that, you know, they actually do work. And the interior here looks great. We can actually see our gauges, which is nice, especially when we're turning. It makes it a little bit easier to see, so that's good. But yeah, interior goes well, exterior goes well. I mean, look at this thing next to like dirt and stuff. It's so low profile. I love it. Oh, we're getting it all muddy. Who cares? That is where we're gonna wrap up this video. Let me know what you guys thought of the final product here. I'm guessing it surprised quite a few of you when I started picking the colors. But hopefully it was a good surprise. That is going to wrap up this video. I hope you guys did enjoy. And I will see you all next time. Peace!